Jessica Strong, and welcome to the Dance to Learn YouTube channel. If it is your first time here, welcome. I have a really fun video for us today. I am sharing 25 phrases that you can use to encourage active listening skills. So I'm really excited to share this. This is really gonna amp up your classroom management and inspire and motivate your students to listen and follow directions. So let's get into it. Before I begin, I have made this into a printable. So if you would like your own version, I did leave a link in the description down below where you can drop your email address and I will send you the list of these 25 phrases to encourage listening. So before I start, let's talk about active listening and what does this mean? So active implies action. So these are phrases that are going to inspire your kids and motivate them to take some type of action. So whether we're actually moving and doing some type of movement to encourage them to listen, or if it is a call and response technique, there are so many different ways that we can inspire and motivate our students to listen and follow directions. So that is what today's YouTube video is all about. All right, so number one on my 25 phrases is take the marshmallows out of your ears. And now for this one, you could substitute marshmallows with anything. You could substitute it with, I don't know, oranges, bananas, whatever you want. But what I love about this is sometimes I'll have kiddos that are sitting in our listening circle and maybe one of them isn't listening and paying attention and I'll say, uh-oh, I think Sally forgot to take the marshmallows out of her ears. Quick, everybody, let's all take the marshmallows out and let's eat them all up. Nom, 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 nom. And then I'll repeat the instructions once they've taken those silly marshmallows out of your ears. Because how can you listen to directions when your ears are plugged with marshmallows? It's a good question. All right, let's see, number two. Ooh, I like this one. And right now, with all of the precautions we're taking for germs and cleanliness, this could be a good substitute for hand sanitizer. But this one is called Magic Sprinkles for Good Listening. Watch how it works. So under normal circumstances, what I would do is I would pretend, I would maybe have all of the kids hold their hands out, right? And I would run around and I would just pretend and maybe I'd ask them, what color magic sprinkles would you like today? And usually I get pink, purple, blue, all of those standard colors, rainbow. And they would take their magic sprinkles and then they would take their magic sprinkles and sprinkle them on their ears to wake their ears up. Right now, we could actually substitute magic sprinkles with hand sanitizer. So maybe you make the hand sanitizer something fun, like you can tell them, now this is magic, I don't know, magic water to help you listen better. And you'd give everybody their magic water and have them run it all over their hands. And then once their hands are nice and clean, then have them turn on their listening ears. Couple options for you. All right, let's see. Ooh, number three, who's got the best listening ears? So sometimes what happens is maybe, we're sitting down and we're waiting our turns and maybe some of the kiddos forget what they're supposed to be doing while they're waiting their turn. So instead of calling a child out and saying, hey, Sally, I like the name Sally. We'll keep using Sally as an example. Sally, why aren't you listening? I try not to bring too much attention to negative behavior, and instead what I want to do is try to encourage positive behaviors. So instead what I'm going to say is show me or look for, maybe I put on my binoculars, okay, I'm looking, who's got the best listening ears, because that dancer is going to get to go next. Or maybe that dancer will get to pick my first scarf for freeze dance or whatever we're playing. So who's got the best listening ears? And then let them know, if you have the best listening ears, this is what's gonna happen. All right, let's see, what's another one? Oh, I like this one. This one, you don't even have to use your voice. How many of you were in school when like doing the whole peace, if we were getting rowdy and we'd all hold up our peace sign? It's kind of like that, but I call this big ears, small mouths. So what you can do if you're teaching and everybody's getting a little rambunctious, all you have to do is put a big ear on and a small mouth. And you just stand there like that. And you wait for everybody to get quiet. And they have to put on their big ears and small mouths too. So that's the big ears, small mouths. Let's see. Ooh, I like this one, especially if you have a lot of boys in your class. Call them the Avengers. Or let them pick a name. Maybe they're the superheroes. Whatever you want them to do, right? But let's say we're dancing, we're having fun, and now you're ready to move on to something else, and you want them all to come back to their learner's circle and sit down so they can listen to the next part of class. So you say, Avengers, assemble! And they all come and they all sit down and they assemble so that they can listen to the next thing. So that's a good one. And a bonus, this is a bonus. What you can do is before, like your very first class, as you're talking about the Avengers or the superheroes or whatever they want to call themselves, when they assemble, give them a move that they have to do. Maybe they are superheroes and they put on their capes and they fly. Anytime you say that. So assign a movement. That way you prevent all the running and chaos that can come from, 15 kiddos trying to get to a spot at one time. Assign a move so that they know, what do the Avengers do? Maybe they march. Maybe they gallop. Whatever. You are the teacher. All right, let's see. Ooh, number 6. I like this one. The whisper fairy has something important to say. Have you ever noticed how engaged people get the moment you start to whisper? They're like, I can't hear, right? So whispering is such a fun way to really get the kids to turn on those listening ears. Because normally when you're teaching, you have to project, you have to be loud. It's not yelling, we just need to make sure that the kids can hear us. And sometimes if it's a little crazy, if you bring that voice back and you whisper, and you start telling all of the rules like this, they're really gonna start listening to what you have to say. So pull out that whisper fairy whenever you can, whenever you feel like you really need them to listen to you. Ooh, this is a fun one, all right? This is a fun one. So let's say you're demonstrating and you're doing pliés or something and you notice 2 or 3 kids that aren't listening. All you have to do is say, hey, quick, copy me. And then it becomes a game. So I really love quick, copy me. And then make sure that they're copying whatever it is that you're doing. I love playing copycat. And remember, especially if your kids are like 3, 4, and 5, they love mimicking. So play games of copy me. So much fun. Ooh, I like this. So number 8. Quiet as a mouse, but ears as a rabbit. So maybe we're about to move, right? Maybe we're about to stand up from our learner's circle and we're gonna transition and go across the floor. So we're gonna be quiet as a mouse. So we're gonna put on our mouse whiskers and maybe our tippy toes. And we're gonna walk quiet, quiet, quiet over to wherever we stand or sit or whatever for across the floor. Then once we're there, I'm gonna say, okay, and show me your rabbit ears. Because I wanna make sure we can all listen to my next direction. So a super fun one, super cute. All right, let's see. Ooh, say a name. I see so-and-so listening. Who else is going to listen? So what I like about this one, again, it goes back to addressing negative behavior versus positive behavior. So I don't want to bring a whole lot of attention to the negative behavior because I know that these kiddos like to mimic each other. So if I say, oh no, what is, Sally, what are you doing right now? Why are you standing on your head? Pretty soon everybody's gonna wanna stand on their head because it looks like so much fun. So what I wanna do instead is say, ooh, I really like how Tommy is listening right now. Who else is gonna listen like Tommy? Because you don't want to miss what's gonna happen next, right? Or whoever listens next is gonna get to go across the floor, or you're gonna get my first sticker, or maybe they get an extra sticker, whatever your motivation is. All right, let's see. Teacher, ooh, this is a really good call and response, and this is number 10. All right, so a good, fun call and response. Hey class, what rhymes with glisten? And they would all know to say, listen! And now it's time to turn on those listening ears and listen to what I have to say. This is another good one. I will use this in my elementary classes, so a little bit older, and sometimes I'll be teaching like a gym class, and we'll have like 30 kids at one time, and we're playing a game, and then all of a sudden I need to get their attention. So I will yell, if you can hear me, clap once. Everybody claps. If you can hear me, clap twice. And every now and again, it takes a couple rounds. We might have to go 3 times or 4 times. Yeah, once I get to 5 times, then I'm starting to get a little like, okay, what else can we do to get everybody back and focused on me? But if you can hear me, clap once is a really fun one. Ooh, here's a fun one. Guess the word I'm going to say. So the way this one works for me, and this one's for a little bit older kiddos too, maybe like your 6 to 10-ish age range, but maybe I'm standing there and I'm explaining what we're gonna do. Like, okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go across the floor. So who can tell me a word that I wanna see you do with your feet? And maybe somebody raised their hand and says, run. I'm gonna say, do you guys really think I want you to run? So another kiddo raises their hand, walk. Yes, I would like to see you walk. So they kind of can come up with what are the expectations, but once they think about it and they say, oh yeah, walking makes sense, if I'm actually engaging them in that conversation, they're more likely to remember what my expectations are. That's a good one. Let's see. Ooh, repeat the rule back to me. So this is a fun one. I have done a choreographed rule circle before where it might look something like this. Rule number 1. And then they say back to me, rule number 1. I'm gonna say, turn on your listening ears and follow directions. And then they say back to me, turn on your listening ears and follow directions. And by doing it and repeating it back to me, it's really helping them remember what my classroom rules are. So that's a really good one. Oh, this is a good one. Let's say, you're playing a game and you want to get ready. Maybe it's freeze, dance, or whatever you play at the end of your class, and you want everybody to get ready to end class. So what you're going to do is the music stops, and you're going to say, stop. Everybody stops. You're going to say, sit. Everybody sits, and you're going to say, listen. And everybody listens. And then you will tell them, we're at the end of class. Go ahead and get your backpacks or your dance bags, whatever they have for class. It's time to go. Number 15, my magic word is blank. When I say my magic word, you will do the following things. So how does this work? I use this. Let's say I'm doing a free trial and I have a big group of kids. More kids than I would normally have in a regular class. So maybe I have 30 preschoolers that I'm teaching at one time, which gets crazy, and I want them all to listen. So what I'm gonna do, let's say our theme of the day is Arctic animals. So I'm gonna say, my word today, friends, is penguin. And if I say penguin, what I want you to do is stand up, put on your penguin wings, and I want you to waddle and find a piece of tape to sit on. And once you do that, we're gonna start class. And then what I'll do is I'll go through my magic word and I'll say, was my magic word Arctic fox? And they'll say, no. Was my magic word polar bear? No. Was my magic word narwhal? No. Was my magic word penguin? Yeah. I'll say, okay. So I said penguin, so everybody stand up, put on your penguin wings, and let's waddle to our spot. So that's a fun one. All right, let's see, what else do I got? Ooh, this is a good one. Right at the start of class, right as kids are coming in, right? Maybe you have a class that you know is super extra chatty, and this might even be good for your teenagers. But have a little bucket, and maybe you call it the voice bucket, or whatever you want to call it. And as they walk in, they have to put, how did I put this? Let's fill our quiet bucket. Take the words out of your mouth and put them in my bucket. So you can hold your bucket and have all the kids take the words out of their mouth and put them in your quiet bucket. Kind of a fun one. And then maybe if somebody's like super extra chatty, you can say, can you please take your words and go put them in my quiet bucket and then come back, right? Because especially teenagers, that might be a little embarrassing for them. So maybe that's one way to have them be a little less chatty during class. All right, let's see. Lock your lips and throw away the key. I mean, I did this all the time in school, right? Just an easy action that they can do. We've done that one before. Number 18, ooh, the quiet fairy is here. Let's quiet down so we don't scare her away. So this quiet fairy, maybe, you know, we're all going crazy and now I want to get everybody to focus on me. So guess who just came? And I'll get really quiet. The quiet fairy. And all the kids will, ooh, so let's be quiet so we don't scare her away. It's kind of like the whisper fairy. She's here, and then maybe we all sit down and listen to the next thing that we're gonna do. Ooh, this is a fun one. And this could be maybe like incorporate different props for your class and you want the kids to calmly pick a prop. And I have done this with my teddy bears. When it's time to pass out a teddy bear, I say, ooh, I see a teddy bear picnic. But make sure we tiptoe walk and be very quiet so we don't scare the teddy bears away. So we'll all stand up and we'll tiptoe walk. And then maybe we'll all find a teddy bear and we'll keep our teddy bear. So, but you could do anything. It could be maybe scarves, you know, and the scarves, you can pretend they're butterflies, whatever you want to do. It's your class. This one, number 20, I use this all the time in my ballet tap combo classes because if you're teaching a tap class, there's usually one of you and maybe I've had 15 kids. So that's 30 tap shoes. That can get crazy loud. So anytime I transition in tap, this is my go-to transition. But I have a wall, like I have behind me, and it's our magic fairy wall. And so what I do when it's time to go to the magic fairy wall, I say, oh, it's time to catch a magic fairy. So what we do is we all stand up and we go up on our tippy toes, and I lead them, and we're very quiet. And we're tiptoe walking on our tippy toes because we don't want to scare our magic fairies away. And then when we get to the wall, we reach up, catch our magic fairy, and we put it in our pocket, and we'll sit crisscross applesauce until it's our turn or whatever it is that we're doing. So I love that one for ballet tap. So if you teach a ballet tap combo class, let's see. Sprinkle some quiet fairy dust on your lips. Sprinkle some listening fairy dust on your ears. So it's kind of like the magic sprinkle that I did at the start of the class. I would go around and give them, you know, and I'd ask them, what color fairy dust would you like today? And then, okay, we all have our fairy dust. Let's sprinkle some on our mouth for quiet mouths. And now let's sprinkle some in our ears for really good listening ears. So that's always a fun one. All right, this one, the next two actually, 22 and 23, these are two that I would do when it's time to do choreography or time to do a dance. So first thing, I know they're ready when we all have hands on our hips and smiles on our lips. And only then I know we're ready. So I need to see everybody standing, hands on their hips, smiles on their lips. Then what I do is I remind them, because how many times do you play music, especially with little ones, then all of a sudden we're dancing, and all of a sudden the little one just stops dancing and she wants to talk to you and tell you her entire life story in the middle of dancing. So right before we're about to start, I will say, music on, mouths off, and then we'll do the dance. And it just sort of reminds them that when the music is playing, we need to be quiet and we need to copy me. And I will also remind them, quick, copy me, because it's time to copy Miss Jessica when we do our dances or our choreography that we might have for a showcase. So that's 22 and 23. Ooh, 24. So let's say you have a prop. Maybe you have a bell or egg shakers or a tambourine or whatever. Maybe it's a drum. Something that makes noise. But call it your listening bell or your listening drum. And then anytime, if things are going crazy and they hear the drum or they hear the bell ring, or maybe it's a whistle, whatever you have. Yeah, so whatever prop you have, that's your listening bell. So that's their signal. Oh, stop what we're doing. Quiet mouths, listening ears on. It's time to listen to what our teacher has to say. All right, this is the last one, number 25, whispering. I'm going to whisper the directions. Super easy. Once you start whispering, everybody has to really turn on those listening ears and listen a lot more than if you weren't whispering. So I love throwing whispers into my class whenever I feel maybe we've gotten a little too rowdy and crazy for class time. All right, everybody, so that was my list of 25 phrases that you can use to encourage active listening. Let me know in the comments if you had one that was your favorite or if there's one that you might incorporate into your classes. And again, if you want the free printable, I left a link in the description box so you can just type in your email and that will be sent to you so you can print it out and have it handy for your class too. So that was my video today. Thank you all so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. If it was your first time here, I hope that you enjoyed this content today. And if you did, I invite you to subscribe and then click that notification bell so that you never miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And don't forget to go and download your copy of my 25 phrases that encourage active listening so that you can improve your kiddos' listening skills as well. My name is Jessica Strong, and I am the creative director and owner here at Dance to Learn. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.